Are you looking for cloud architect interview questions or solution architect interview questions? If so, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Michael Gibbs, and I'm the founder and CEO of Go Cloud Architects, and we're an organization that's dedicated towards building high-performance cloud computing careers. Personally, I've been working in technology for over 25 years, and I've been helping others get their first tech job or get promoted in tech for 2 decades. And today we're going to talk about cloud architect interview questions or solutions architect interview questions. The questions we're going to talk about today are AWS solution architect interview questions because we're going to be discussing AWS services. Now, if you're a cloud architect who works on Azure or Google or any other cloud for that matter, the same principles will apply. So just all you need to do is just change the name of the service and you'll be good to go. But today these are AWS questions. Now, when we ask these questions or you're asked these questions on an interview, really what the hiring manager is trying to ascertain is first your technical competency, as you could figure, but also your communication skills and your presentation skills. So don't give a one-word answer. Give a really good, strong answer. Discuss what is the tech? How does the tech work? And why would an organization use it? And you position yourself in a much better position than everyone else. So let's get to that first question. What's the difference between an internet gateway, a NAT gateway, and an egress-only internet gateway? So let's start with what is an internet gateway. An internet gateway is a router that connects your VPC to the internet. That's an internet gateway. So if you have a router that connects to the internet, here's what's going to occur. Your VPC is now going to be connected to the internet, or at least parts of your VPC are connected to the internet. So that means full internet connectivity. That means users can come in and I can go out. Users can come in and I can come out. So bi-directional communication in and out, that's what an internet gateway does. So if you need a web server to be available on the internet, you're going to use an internet gateway. Now, keep in mind, once you have an internet gateway, you have full in and out internet access, which means your systems can be hacked. So when you're using an internet gateway, chances are you're going to need some firewalls, maybe some IPS systems, some network access control lists, some security groups, etc., because an internet gateway means you're exposed to the internet. Now, let's talk about what a NAT gateway does. A NAT gateway basically connects your VPC to the internet partially, and I'll talk about what I mean by that, and it translates your private addresses into a public address. So every device on the internet must have a globally unique address. And in most organizations, we use private addressing as specified by, say, RFC 1918. And because we're using private addresses, internally, because we don't have enough public addresses, we can't use them on the internet. So we're going to need to use a public address on the internet, and we could either put a dynamic mapping, meaning one static address to another static address, and that would be called static NAT, or we could use maybe a single IP address or a couple IP addresses for an entire enterprise, and that's called NAT overload. So what is a NAT gateway? A NAT gateway connects your VPC to the internet to be able to go to the internet and let its traffic come back. But a NAT gateway does not provide full true internet access. It provides what's called egress-only internet access, meaning I can go out to the internet and my return traffic is allowed back, but no external traffic would ever be allowed in unless I initiate it on the way out and it comes back in. So a NAT gateway provides egress-only internet services for IPv4. It translates internal addresses into a public address, and it provides outbound internet connectivity, but not inbound internet connectivity. So if you've got systems in your VPC and you want them to upgrade their operating systems, you're going to want to use a NAT gateway. Now the next gateway is an egress-only internet gateway. Here's what that is. It's a NAT gateway for IPv6, meaning egress only, meaning it allows your systems out to the internet and it allows the return traffic back. But there's no NAT because we don't need to do NAT on IPv6 because there's no concept of public and private IP addresses. So now you know, internet gateway, full internet communication, NAT gateway, outbound only or egress only for IPv4, egress only internet gateway, basically a NAT gateway for IPv6 without the NAT. The next question we're going to ask is, how does a direct connection work? So first, you need to know what is a direct connection. And a direct connection is effectively a private line between an organization and their VPC. The part of this that you need to know, well, how does the direct connection work? Because it's not just a private line. Here's what you need to be able to tell them. You need to be able to tell them that the direct connection is basically what works as follows. You buy a private connection between your organization and the direct connection facility, and you have a device that's yours at the direct connection facility. And that basically gets you to the direct connection location. And then you need to go from your device at the direct connection location to the AWS network, who's also co-located at that direct connect location. And how does that occur? A cable needs to be run between your device at the direct connect location and the service provider or the AWS device at the AWS location. That cable that's crossed between your device and their device is referred to as a cross connect. So for the direct connection to work, you need to not only get a connection from you to the direct connection location, but you also need to connect a cross connect, or your service provider needs to connect a cross connect from your device to the AWS device. Now, in order to get that cross connect to occur, you need to get a letter of authorization from AWS that enables your service provider to run that cross connect. So that's the next part of the direct connection, is the letter of authorization that enables that cable to be run between your device and their device. Now, once it gets to the AWS device, it's backhauled over the AWS network. So that's how a direct connection works. You buy a wire, effectively, an Ethernet wire, to the direct connection location. A cross connect is connected to the AWS device, and your traffic is then backhauled to through the AWS network to your VPC, or however you want it to go based upon which gateways you use. The next question: what is a direct connection link aggregation group, and how does it work? Okay, so let's talk about link aggregation. For those of us that are in the networking community, we're pretty familiar with the concept of inverse multiplexing, which is basically where we take multiple small connections and we bundle them into bigger connections. We used to use the exact opposite on a T1, where we basically, they were basically a bunch of small lines, and we would use each line for a little bit, and that's how we time sliced them. Now, this is kind of the exact opposite. This is taking multiple links and bundling them together. So, for those of you that are familiar with port channel or ether channel, those old Cisco technologies that enable multiple Ethernet ports to be bundled into a single cable, you're going to be very familiar with. So what is link aggregation? Link aggregation combines the ability to take multiple layer 2 links, like multiple gigabit Ethernet ports, and bundle them together to look like a single physical link. Since they look like a single physical link and have 4 times the speed by bundling the capacity by putting up to 4 of them together, you don't have any complicated routing, you just have a single wire. So up to 4 cables in a single wire, a cable or 2 or 3 can all go down, and you still have the link up, so you get redundancy, speed, and performance. So that is what a link aggregation group is. The next question is going to be, what is an AWS Direct Connect gateway, and what is its advantages or disadvantages as opposed to using multiple direct connections? So a direct connection gateway is a device or a logical device that enables you to connect to this direct connection gateway, and enables you to create logical connections, maybe one to the European region, one to a region in Asia, one to 2 different regions inside the US, all off of a single direct connection. Very reminiscent of the frame relay VPCs that we used to build logical connections. Now, what is the advantages? You can have one connection that can serve multiple AWS regions. Fantastic. What is the disadvantage? The bandwidth of all these little virtual connections will be shared over the link. So if you've got a gigabit connection to AWS and you're using Direct Connection Gateway going through 5 regions, each region will be sharing that same gig. So it may not be enough. So the advantage of the Direct Connect Gateway is it's very simple to set up one connection to multiple environments. The disadvantage of the Direct Connect Gateway is it shares bandwidth, so it may not be enough bandwidth. So maybe you need a link aggregation group, for example, to bundle multiple 10 gig links together to get enough speed when you're connecting to the Direct Connect Gateway. The next question is, when should you use Privatelink versus VPC Peering? So first, you need to know what is VPC Peering, and secondly, you need to know what is Privatelink. So let's start with VPC Peering. VPC Peering is when you've got 2 VPCs, 2 entities, 2 organizations. You peer them together and they can exchange any and all information you want them to. So company A buys company B, they're now the same company, and you connect them together. This is great. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, what if company A was using the 10.0.0.8 address space, and company B was also using the 10.0.0.8 address space? Now you've got a problem. You can't talk to each other because they've got overlapping IP addresses. So use VPC peering when you want to connect 2 entities and you want them all to have maximum communication to each other. But if the 2 entities that when you want to communicate have overlapping IP addresses, you can't connect them with VPC peering, but you can connect them with Privatelink. VPC Peering, like I said, gives you full connectivity of all services. Privatelink gives you only one service. Privatelink is unidirectional, meaning you can offer a service or receive a service, and you can do both if you set it up in both directions. VPC Peering is naturally in both directions. So if you need more security, use Privatelink. If you need more scalability, use Privatelink, because you can't get beyond 125 VPC Peering connections in AWS. But Privatelink is almost unlimited. So if you need access to a single service, Privatelink, because it's more secure. You can only get one service. If you need access to multiple services, VPC Peering. If you've got overlapping IP addresses, you must use Privatelink. So that should give you the information on when to use Privatelink and when to use VPC Peering to offer services and connect entities. I hope you've enjoyed this video on AWS Solution Architect interview questions and Cloud Architect interview questions. I hope to see you in another video very soon. It was so nice having you join us for this video today. Let me tell you about some free services we do for the cloud community. Once per week, we actually have a free question and answer session live on YouTube, where you can come and ask us any questions you want about building your career related to cloud computing or networking, and we'll answer them in real time for you because we want to get you to your goals. Several more times per week, we have guests from industry experts that I have known for decades that are movers and shakers that have changed the world, that can give you information so you can build the best career. I invite them periodically. They are on my show. If there's a chance to do some free training on our channel, we'll do it live because we want you to all to have the best skills for the best career. So please subscribe and hit the bell. I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to assisting you in your technology career. Thank you so much. This is Michael Gibbs from Go Cloud Architect.